cousins used to live in Hawaii, and my mom goes to Hawaii every year. And, yeah, I don't think Hawaii's worth it. I wouldn't move to Hawaii. It's beautiful, but, cost of living there insanely high, because everything has to be imported. You know, the primary economy is tourism, and you have to deal with tourists literally everywhere. And I don't know. There are a lot of things wrong with living in Hawaii. I wouldn't live there, personally. It's a beautiful place, but I also just feel bad even visiting, because, like I said, the tourism is such a pervasive part of the culture now, that, like, I don't know, the whole fucking island chain is based around tourism. It's like, you know, Disneyland. Every corner you're being sold something, or I don't know. It feels, I don't know, commercialized. That's something I don't want in a place that I live, is for it to feel like everything is a tourist trap. Fuck that. No thanks. And I've been to multiple of the islands. I've been to, you know, Honolulu and Maui and, what's the one that starts with a K? Oh, fuck. Anyway. Yeah. Not a fan. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. It is one of the most beautiful places you will ever visit, Hawaii. But, that's why it is a horrifying tourist trap of a place. So... New Zealand, though. I would move to New Zealand in a heartbeat if I had, like... I don't know. That seems great. How is Hawaii a massive drug hotspot? How do they get drugs? Who's importing drugs over there? Kaloa. It's not Kauai. It's Kaloa. Yeah, that's the one I've been to. Thank you, Kenny. Yeah, oh, New Zealand. Beautiful, and they have the World Arachnology Conference in New Zealand. So if I just, you know, got my degree in arachnology and became an arachnologist and just studied spiders, I could move to New Zealand and study spiders, and that could be my life. Who's to say? Who's to say? Yeah. The thing is, moving to any, like, other country costs about that much, like $10K just to get there. Because moving from state to state, even from one place in a city to another place in a city, costs like $1,000 bucks. 1,000 even state to state if you're being, like, very frugal. Yeah, to another country, getting things shipped and all the paperwork, all the bureaucratic bullshit you have to do, it's more like $10K, and it's a lot. That's a lot. A lot of people don't have $10K to spend on a move. So, like, I was strongly considering moving to Scotland earlier in the year and instead of North Carolina, and I picked North Carolina instead because I didn't have $10,000 to move to Scotland. When I went through how much it would cost for me to do everything. Yeah, so I don't have the money for that. When you have the money for that, it might be worth it, but also, you know, yeah, yeah, I think nobody is perfect, and so all your friends, yeah, are gonna not be perfect, and nobody you see online is perfect. So that's the thing. Although there are lots of, about moving though, is there are lots of studies that suggest that moving or a change of scenery can do a lot for your mental health. You know, there are lots of studies that suggest like a change of scenery can, you know, implement your brain in new ways and form new habits and, you know, change the way that you've been thinking if you've been in ruts or whatever. And so, I don't know, I feel like if you feel stuck, it's worth it to just say fuck it and move. It's not easy, but it might be what you need. That change of scenery might be what you need. So, thank you, Gold One. Of course, Kenny. I think it would be, for me though, uncomfortable to be friends with anyone who, like, was a viewer on my stream. And that's not because, I don't know, I don't respect you guys or think that you're smart or think that you're cool. It's just that the way that we have a relationship right now is as a viewer and an audience. It would be really hard to subvert that or to like meet ourselves, like, I don't know, meet in a way that normal people meet after that. And, you know, I feel like both parties would have certain expectations, and I just feel like I'd be uncomfortable being friends with anybody who was like a really big, like a fan of my stream. Like if I wasn't already friends with them, or I don't know. It's like I have friends that watch my stream, but they were my friends first. So, yeah. So that's not to just like to make anybody feel bad. I just like I don't think that I'd be very comfortable doing it. Just because of the dynamic that is set when you meet someone as a streamer and a viewer, as opposed to just like a person in a bar who can avoid you if they think that you guys don't gel immediately. Like if I meet a viewer and we don't gel, we're not friends or whatever, that's also really difficult and awkward, and then I have to have that conversation where I'm like, I don't think we're gonna be great friends, I don't think we should hang out anymore. And, well, don't want to have that kind of conversation. I just don't want to deal with that. Regardless, I'd much rather just be friends with people who I can meet and form a relationship with in person. I don't know. Online friends are definitely a different animal. And even online friends who I made in really interesting, fun ways, I get super nervous about meeting. I've met a couple online friends in person, and it's kind of just like, we're both just terrified, like, is this person gonna be how I expect them to be based on what they've shown me about themselves and what I think they are based on the internet? It's horrifying. And I'm always nervous that even with those people, that it's not gonna work out, and I should, you know, be really cautious about how I go about it, and if it doesn't work out, I need to have a game plan for how to, like, break it off quick and leave if it sucks or whatever. And that's people that, like, you know, I really purposefully made friends with online as opposed to viewers. I just don't, like, I have a lot of viewers who say I would love to be friends with you, and I don't want to discourage you guys from making friends, but I don't think you should make friends with me. I don't think that I could be a good friend to you, and you don't deserve that. So, believe me when I say that, and, I'm sorry, but I'm not looking for any friendships with any of you. Not any, like, in-person friendships. We can have online friendships. Oh, yes. Message me on the Discord. That's fine. Anyway, just had to get that out there, because I get a lot of messages about how much people want to be my friend and meet me and hang out with me, and I appreciate that, and I hope that you find people to meet and hang out with and whatever. There are people like me, wherever you are. I'm sure of it. So just go find people like me. And it's good. I don't know. I just wanted to get that off my chest, because it can be really nerve-wracking for me to feel like I have to decline friendship all the time on my stream. But I also just don't think that a friendship from my stream would work well. So, for me, and a friendship is two-sided. Even if the friendship would work well for you, doesn't mean it would work well for me. So, I mean, I was terrified, but did you end the friendship? It depends. Like, there have been people I've met in person from being friends with online who I stopped talking to, and there are friends who I've met in person from online who I've been like, I can't wait for us to see each other again, even though you live in another city and we hardly see each other once in 3 years or whatever. But it's, you know, it's weird, and it's still really difficult, and there's still, you know, I don't know. It still doesn't take into account the other factors of why I don't think I'd be great in-person friends with people from my stream. I have the ability to be a good friend. I do. But I also know that it's okay for me to set my own boundaries, and if things would make me uncomfortable and I don't think they'd work out, they're not things I have to force or try or whatever. Friendship is really hard, especially for me, and also I plan to move to another city as soon as possible. So, am I really gonna start making new in-person friendships? No, I don't think so. It's just not the right time for me. But I don't want people to take that personally. It's just I don't want to be friends with you. And I'm allowed to feel that way and say that and hold my ground on that. I don't have to feel guilted into being friends with people. That's what makes me a good friend. Is I have boundaries, and I don't just agree with my friends on everything. We have a healthy relationship of respect on both sides. I'm not willing to try for a number of reasons, including my safety and well-being. If I start being friends with people from the stream, you know, that puts my personal information more into my stream and puts me in more danger. It's also just a safety thing. I'm worried. Not everyone here wants the best for me. It's the internet. Thanks, Jonah. And thanks, Gold One. Marcus, you are not irrelevant and easily replaced, and I enjoy being online friends with you. But that doesn't mean I want to meet you in person and be awkward and flounder because I'm not this outgoing and confident and comfortable in person. That's for damn sure. This is my stream, and I don't have to see anyone. This doesn't feel like that big of a social task for me. But meeting people in person, I am terribly quiet and shy. It's really hard for me. I'm not great at being social, and I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna do it. No. There are cases where I want to be social, and there are cases where I don't. And as long as I'm hitting that healthy boundary of pushing myself and trying new things, while also keeping myself safe and free from mental distress, that's fine. That's fine. I don't have to push myself in every fucking area. That's for sure. So no, I don't want to meet you in person, but sorry. And yeah, if I meet one person in person, that changes the dynamics of everything. Fact. You're not stalkers or dangerous people, and definitely not most of you are stalkers or dangerous people. But that doesn't mean there aren't on here people who would love that. And it doesn't mean that isn't a large fear of mine. You know, I get assaulted regularly. I went for a walk yesterday and got honked at 3 times on a walk. And that happens regularly. Every time I go for a walk, I get honked at. I don't like that. I don't like feeling like that. I don't like that pressure of knowing somebody likes me or is interested in me. And especially because I'm on a porn site, I worry that a lot of people's draw to me is because I'm attractive and because I'm a female. And I know that. I'm using that draw online to hopefully, encourage people to be happier and healthier and teach them skills to deal with things that I've learned. I'm not a professional, but I like to share. But I'm using that, and I'm in control of it on my stream. In person, I'm not as in control of that. I don't get to use my my cute little attractive whatever to my advantage. I am in fact now a target, it feels like, and it feels super scary and uncomfortable, and I don't like it. I don't like when anybody is attracted to me. And I know that sounds weird, but it's definitely my own fear and thing that I have to work on. That's why I don't do porn on here. So I can use it and be confident in it, but still have limits and boundaries and whatever. I don't want to have friendships where the immediate draw for you to being friends with me was because I was small and cute. I'm sorry. At least in person, I can tell if somebody is genuinely interested in me as a person from the get-go. I can't tell that from people online. And so it's dangerous and scary for me, and I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. Thanks, Jonah. True. Also, yeah, it's a revenue-based, thing. This is my job, and it's like having, a relationship in your job or something. It complicates things. Yeah. And people get jealous. Just, it's not happening. Porn? Is this a porn site? Anyway, that's definitely something that's important to me to get out, because while I, you know, have compassion and respect and want to be online friends with all of you, that's fine. I get a lot of invitations to be like friends, and no, nope. I feel bad about the declining, but I have to. Can't. Just can't happen that way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It can't. Yeah. But I assure you, there are other people like me out there. They just might not seem like me on the surface. Listen, I go to the grocery store and I am like covered and shy and quiet and just like move my little basket. Like no one look at me. Blinders. And I still get hit on like 4 times in the grocery store. It's uncomfortable. I don't fucking like it. So, it's being friends with me is weird. I think my standards for friendship are, you know, very strong. And that means I have very good friendships and very strong friendships. Even though I don't have very many of them, they're very good. But like, I don't know. It's important to me that people are really honest from the get-go, that they genuinely want to be my friend and don't have ulterior motives that they will continue to pursue even if I say I just want to be friends. It's really important to me that I feel safe around a person, and those are all things that I just can't predict from someone online, and they're really important to me in friendships. So, yeah. Real water or no? Yeah, I could have some real water. Thanks, Goldman. Looking out for me. Also, yeah, just the idea that people on my stream would get jealous even if I got into a private relationship. People on my stream are jealous of my friends, my regular friends. Like, wow, I wish I could be that regular friend. So, like, imagine if it was from someone from the stream, the jealousy that I would face from people, the amount of comments that I would get. I already get comments that say, you know, if you get into a relationship, I'll be super jealous. I won't like it if you ever brought a guy onto your stream. This, that, and the other. And I'm just like, well, that's not any of your fucking business. But okay. This has really just been a rant picnic. I've just been ranting. This is, oh, picnic? No, rant. Rant session. Not a cute picnic. Nope. Nope. Cute romantic picnic with me? Nope. Yeah, the word friend isn't a word I use lightly either. Like, there are people I know and have met in person and have even gone to school with, and like university with, and whatever, and still am like, friend? Sometimes you need a good rant picnic. Guess so. I mean, what are you supposed to talk about on picnics? Like, duh. Okay, I've been on a few picnics myself. I quite enjoyed them. And I don't know that I've ever talked about the same stuff twice. Really just about who's there and where the conversation turns. So, yeah. Standard conversation for a picnic? There isn't one. cute romantic accounting therapy session. Well, it is time for Ask Miss Muffet. If you don't know what Ask Miss Muffet is, if you go to my website, steelcutkawaii.com, you can submit any old thing, any question, and I answer it on stream. We all talk about it. It becomes a topic of discussion. So you can change the course of the stream. You just go to my website and you ask a really interesting question that's been eating at you for years that you don't know the answer to. And then we discuss it. It's great. So, something kind and encouraging. It may feel like there is no one in your area, your city, your town, your state, whatever, like you, and you don't have a community and you don't have close friends, and it can be exhausting, and you can find people online who you think, wow, it would be perfect if only I had a person like this. The fact of the matter is, the chances are there are more people in your state like you than you expect or know. You're there. How the fuck are you there if people like you don't exist there? There are people like you wherever you're at, and you just have to find them. And it might not be fucking easy to find them, but if you make it your quest to find them instead of just pining over people online, even if you don't find people, you'll work on yourself, you'll learn things about yourself, you'll go out and enjoy things and try new things and in your search, and it'll be great. It'll be worth it. So allow yourself that opportunity before you just and also, if you're young, if you are like, 16 to 30, even if you're a little older than that, that's just a weird, hard time to have permanent friends. Like, people make permanent friends when they, like, settle and are older, and if you don't have any in-person friends at that period in your life, you're normal. You're fucking, that's how things are nowadays, okay? I have very few in-person friends, and it can hurt a lot sometimes, because I have the self-confidence and the self-worth to know that I'm a good person, a strong person, an intelligent person, a loving person, and then yet I see, like, I have very few people to spend time with in person, and it can be really heartbreaking and distressing, and it can feel like something's wrong with me, but nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with you. The 20s are called your lonely years because it's such a transitory period of your life that, goddamn, like, it's real hard to make really solid friends at that period, in that period of your life. And it's real hard to feel, like, comfortable and consistent with that. So, be kind to yourself and know that having a bunch of friends and seeing people regularly isn't, isn't required for you to be a good person, a worthwhile person, a smart, intelligent, funny, beautiful person, and that friends will come. Friends will come. And you just gotta fucking wait it out. I am currently waiting it out, and boy does it suck! Because I would love to have more, like, regular friends that I saw on a regular basis. Like I said, I see, like, 2 or 3 people a week, like, hanging out. And that's more than some, okay? If you have less than that, you don't have to compare yourself. This isn't a game of comparison. The thing is, like, I don't know, if you think I'm so hot, I'm not, I don't fucking see anybody either. So, I don't know. hopefully in there, the kind, encouraging theme is it's okay if you don't have a bunch of friends. It's okay if you haven't found people that you gel with. It's a process. It takes time, and you know, it sucks. But it doesn't mean that you're not worth friends. Doesn't mean that you're not worth that process, going through it and waiting for it. It doesn't mean you're not smart and intelligent and beautiful and wonderful. Okay. That was my kind, encouraging words. They were a little long. But anyway, it's time now for Ask Miss Muffet. If you're 16, you shouldn't be on here. Well, listen. I'm not a fucking snitch. So, don't worry. I was definitely, like, looking at shit at 16. Come on. I know there's some people here that are probably under 18, and that's okay. Everybody wants to be my friend, and yet I have boundaries for my friendships. So, I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment and respect, and have the utmost respect and love for you. Yes. You were looking at boobs at 16, not shit. Different strokes for different folks. Oh, M2. Like I said, I have the utmost respect and love for you. Don't worry. We don't have to be in-person friends. We have a very specific relationship built on this stream. And I'm happy with the where it's at. I'm not ready to go farther in our relationship. Thank you, Kenny. Yeah. Oh, I know, but I've spent most of the expensive parts for the PC already, so it's not that bad. The dollhouse was about $100. The PC build was about $800-900 because I didn't really skimp. I wanted a really nice PC. I need to get a motherboard mounting plate and some other stuff. But yeah, it's coming in. I've already spent the majority of the money, I think. Coming in at around like $1,200. But fine. And I'm happy. So. But also, friendships are different for everybody. And I have friends who I can speak to, you know, once every 3-4 months and still be great friends with. So, you know, there's no, like, standard. And if you want those friends to contact you more, reach out to them more. So, if you don't want people to contact you, you know, every half a year, or every 10 years, every 5 years, every whatever, then contact them more. Phones go both ways. Relationships are not one-sided. If they're the only ones ever reaching out, they might get tired of reaching out. And if you want to talk to somebody more, you better start talking to them. And you can just tell them, I would love it if we talked more. And that honesty, it might be enough to really, you know, have them think, yeah, I would like to talk to this person more. Or maybe, no, I don't think so. I think we talk a fine amount. And then you know. But assuming is not the best option, ever. Well, no, I still have my old PC because my old PC is a Eurocom Leopard laptop. Eurocom. It's a custom laptop, but I mean, it's old now, slow as hell now. I had it for, God, you know, 6-7 years. I started streaming on it. So now that I have a real PC, that's fun. But I don't have like an old PC necessarily. I think my last 2 computers, aside from this one, have been laptops. But I keep my laptop, my old laptop, for emergency situations. My upstairs neighbors are so loud. Like, thanks, make your dogs howl. Sure. I love it. I love when you make your 3 dogs howl and bark. It's great. Yeah, anyway. It's worth it, I feel like, to keep my old PC around if anything happens to or my old laptop around if anything happens to this PC, so I just have it. I don't need to get rid of it. My upstairs neighbors are very inconsiderate and loud, and I've left a note on their door one time, but maybe I should leave another. Because the first note was like, please be more considerate. Please don't be shitty. And they, like, I feel like they were quieter for a couple days, and now they're super shitty again. So maybe I'll leave another note that says, like, seriously, shut the fuck up. Otherwise, you know, I guess I'll have to talk to management, which I really don't want to do. Like, we're neighbors, we're both people, and I get it. Like, you're a person, and you're gonna make noise, you're living your life, and you just happen to be above me. I don't think that I'm very unrealistic with my expectations. But also, you know, my last upstairs neighbor was a guy in a biker gang and wasn't fucking as loud. So, you know, when I want a biker gang back above me, before I want you above me, there's some problems. Thanks, Goldwyn. Also, I get it. I'm a young person, and I look very young, but also they look like fucking teenagers up there. I don't understand. Like, how old are you? Are you, what? Do you have a mom up there that I've just never seen? Like, who the fuck? How? They look like they're like 17. Barely. I'm just, 3 goddamn dogs, fucking 17-year-olds running around. What the fuck? No inconsiderate bastards. Biker gang doesn't want cops showing up and busting their meth lab. I doubt there's a meth lab above me. Anyway. It's time now for Ask Miss Muffet. So if you want to submit any questions, go to my website, steelcutkawaii.com. How old is Spitter? 79 years old. Old enough to have my degree and been out of college for a while, so old enough. Wait, what? Oh yeah, Ask Miss Muffet is late. You're right. It's late. Anyway, okay. I had my 1-year anniversary. I'm 80 now. Oh, but it doesn't have the same ring as 79. Well, okay. We started saying I was a 79-year-old woman after, I think, my birthday in March. So we'll say that I'm 80 at my next birthday. next March. Is that a good compromise? So, the first question is from Landshark, and the subject is Chihiro. Can you tell us new fans about Chihiro? How long have you had her? Where did you get her? How did you come up with the name? Any other interesting facts? Thanks. Well, thank you, Landshark. Yeah. Chihiro, super sweetie. I got her at a shelter in Houston, about, 8 or 9 years ago now. And she was fully grown. She was 2 years old when I got her. So she was absolutely a rescue. Because people don't get full-grown cats from shelters. They get kittens. So, 2-year-old cat from a shelter. And her name at the shelter was Miranda. Which I was like, I'm not a huge fan of naming cats and dogs and whatever, just random people names. Like, I'm not a fan of Oreo and socks and whatever either. But I'm not a fan of random people names. And I know Chihiro is a people name, but at the time, 8 or 9 years ago, when I was, you know, a teenager, I was super into Miyazaki films, anime movies, and Chihiro was the name of the main character in the movie Spirited Away. And not only did I think it was a lovely and beautiful name, I thought that the idea behind the name was really nice, because in the movie, Chihiro is a name for like 1 in a million, kind of a whatever, like special, whatever. And when she gets captured in the movie and her name gets taken away, they give her the name Sin, which means like one. Like they devalue her by taking her name away. And so by naming Chihiro Chihiro, I was like giving her that value back or something, as being like special and beautiful and having this beautiful, interesting name. And I was, you know, she's 1 in a million. She's at a shelter. There are millions of cats, you know, that don't get adopted exactly like Chihiro. So I named her Chihiro because Miranda sucked, let's be real. And I have had her now for 8 or 9 years, and so she is 11 or 12 years old. So she's pretty old. Oh, thank you, obvious sextra. Thank you. Any interesting facts about Chihiro? I don't know. Her temperament is very sweet and spicy, is how I describe it. She either really wants affection and is super affectionate and lovey and sweet, or she's not at all. There's no in between, and it can change very quickly. And that's okay. I have come to love and appreciate that part of her. But some people don't appreciate that part of her. Like, I have a friend that always comes over like, wow, Chihiro just snaps on me every once in a while like a jerk. I don't get it. And it's just like, she just doesn't want to be pet anymore. Maybe you weren't petting her right. She's just very, I don't know, specific. So that's her temperament. I would describe as sweet and spicy. Any other interesting facts about Chihiro? Oh, you know, one time, okay, this is a complaint I have, honestly, but one time I took Chihiro to the vet. And the reason I took her to the vet is because I had left my palette, my painting palette, full of oil paint, out on my desk overnight. And I woke up to Chihiro being covered in cobalt blue oil paint. Now, cobalt is a toxic heavy metal, and I did not know how much of that oil paint she had possibly ingested. I was horrified. I was super worried. And I immediately threw her in the bathtub and washed all the oil paint off her. But I used what I normally use to wash oil paint off things and myself, which is a product called Simple Green, which is a really basic fucking product, pretty fucking neutral. You could probably drink Simple Green and be fine. Although I'm not gonna test that. I feel like it's safe for kitchen surfaces and whatever. And it was definitely, it was what I was using to clean myself and my brushes out at the time from oil paint. So it was the first thing my mind defaulted to cleaning oil paint. So I threw Chihiro in the tub, and I, used Simple Green to wash all the oil paint off her, and it worked very well. And I rinsed her very well, and I dried her, and I took her immediately to the vet, and I said, "Listen, I think she ingested cobalt, which is a very toxic heavy metal, and she's a very small little cat. And I'm terrified that my cat has cobalt poisoning. I don't know." And the vet, in asking what I used to clean her, when I said I used Simple Green, just, would not hear anything else for the rest of the time I was there. That stupid old man vet was just like, I can't believe you used this product on her. Let's go through all all the shit that's in this product. Let's talk all about Simple Green. And I'm like, she might have ingested cobalt, motherfucker, which is absolutely toxic. And we're here trying to discuss if Simple Green is toxic, which I don't think it fucking is. And none of the, discussion we had about it proved that it was in any way. He just made me feel like such a fucking idiot for washing her with Simple Green, when I was just there horrified that she had cobalt poisoning. So really terrible time. Really, really horrible, terrible time. And I just felt so, ignored and devalued, and I felt like Chihiro wasn't even looked at. I paid for somebody to tell me that I was a piece of shit for washing oil paint off my cat with Simple Green. So, that really stuck in my mind, and I'm pissed. I was pissed, and I still am pissed, because what an asshole. What an asshole. My cat ingested something that is most definitely toxic. Possibly. I don't know. She was covered in it, okay? So can you fucking test and make sure or something that she doesn't have cobalt poisoning? Because I'd love for my cat not to die. But now you're making me think that it's gonna be my fault if she dies because I washed her with Simple Green. But no. No. I even told the vet, I'll drink Simple Green to prove that it's fine and harmless. And he still just wouldn't fucking have any of it. This stupid bastard. It made me so frustrated. It's just so stupid. So there's a fun story about Chihiro. Can you send you a booklet? Can I send you a booklet about mesothelioma? I cannot. And it's just this is a thing that could absolutely kill my cat that I'm trying to tell you about, that I want you to check, and you won't listen to me. And you are making me feel like I'm the bad guy because I washed her with what I wash everything with oil paint with. So what a douchebag. What an old man douchebag. But yeah, she was fine, but not thanks to that vet, because I basically just left with my cat and didn't get any kind of results or anything. And they had no information for me about if she had ingested any cobalt or anything. And it's just like, I came to you fearing for my cat's life in an emergency situation, thinking that she has ingested a heavy metal oil paint, which is very highly toxic even to people. And you're really giving me this bullshit? You're really not giving me any answers about that thing? And I could hear them talking in the back room about, like, don't you get Simple Green from Home Depot? And it's like, what the fuck? Why does Home Depot have anything to do with anything? Like, you can get non-toxic substances from Home Depot, okay, sweetheart? Like, stop talking shit about me in the back. It just made me feel so, like, devalued and stupid. I really hate, oh, I hate that. Hate it. Ugh. Could have shaved her? No thanks. No thanks. No, sometimes the colors of paint aren't exactly the substance. I know that, Mr. Pink. I knew that there was cobalt in my cobalt blue. I knew. Listen, it was like $20 for a fucking tube. It was cobalt. Why do you want to be blocked? That's weird. Weird request. Anyway. So, next question is anonymous. And the subject is, does Miss Muffet do virtual hugs? I could really use a virtual hug today. Yeah, absolutely. Bring it in. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Here you go. How are you doing? All right? I'm sorry. Sorry you're... It's okay. Hey, here's a shoulder. Shoulder to cry on. Right here. And it's for you. Thanks. Glad you reached out. Sorry that you can't get a non-virtual hug right now. But I'm absolutely willing to give you a virtual one. Doing at your absolute best. I'm proud of you. Okay. Good. Yeah. It'll be okay. I know right now it's tough. But feelings don't last forever. None do. You know? Happiness, sadness, none of them last forever. New feelings will come. You just gotta wait out these feelings and see what other feelings come up. Okay. Doing great. Good. Marcus says if you block Aldor, that's 100% playing favorites and you have to ban me. Anyway, I hope that was a good virtual hug for you. It was good for me. Was it good for you? Because it was good for me. Next question is from Marcus, and the subject is food. And the question is, what is in your fridge right now? Well, you see, I have a loaf of bread. I keep it in the fridge so it doesn't go bad as fast because I'm one small person, and a loaf of bread usually goes bad even if I eat like 3/4 of it. Like the last fourth is gonna go bad. And I can slow that process a little by putting it in the fridge, so I do. That's not to say I like cold bread, but it's just the best long-term solution for me. So bread, I have bread in my fridge. I have eggs. I have a lot of condiments. I have yogurt. Oh, thank you, fast friend. For the fast friend says it's for giving whoever that was an awesome, encouraging hug. Thank you. I have yogurt. I have soup, boxes of soup. I like the boxes of soup because you just unscrew the cap and you pour out however much soup you want. You don't have to use the whole can of soup. You know, if you buy like a can of soup, you gotta eat the whole can of soup. And sometimes, you know, it's not the right like amount for the bowl or whatever. Or maybe you want like more than one can of soup, and then you gotta figure out if you want 2 cans of soup or if you just want like the one in like a 4th can of soup and you should just stick with one, or if you should put half a can of soup in the fridge. It's a whole big mess. I like the boxes of soup because then I just pull it out. It's like a little carton and I just pour however much soup I want, and then I screw it back and I put it back and bam, soup. Exactly how much I want every time. Perfect. Yeah, and I just microwave it and I have soup. Great. I have oyster crackers for my soup in my pantry. But what else do I have in my fridge? I have boxes of soup. 2 boxes. I have like tomato soup and like super green soup. Whatever. Thank you, Aldor. Soup, eggs, bread, yogurt, tamales that have been maybe in there for too long. I need to check the Best By date on those tamales. They were grocery store tamales. They were not like handmade, so don't know if they're still good, honestly. They're like in a vacuum sealed package. They might still be fine, but just haven't wanted them. Does fridge extend to freezer is a good question to ask. I have cheese. I have Romano cheese and mozzarella cheese in my fridge. I have a couple drinks in my fridge. Like I have another one of those skin tea, like tea can drinks in my fridge. I have well, I had a bottle of rosé till now. Now it's out here. What else? What else is in my fridge? Oh, I actually recently have some. I didn't know they made it, but Canada. I think it's Canada Dry brand, but it's ginger ale lemonade, which I haven't opened it yet. I figured it would taste really alright with the lemon vodka that I have if I wanted to make some mixed drinks, and I've been wanting to make some mixed like soda drinks instead of just like spiked lemonade and limeade. So yeah, I've got a ginger ale lemonade in my fridge, like a 2-liter. Let's see. Does anybody confirm if we're also including freezer or just fridge? I've got milk. I've got like a half gallon of whole milk. I've got some whipped cream. Honestly, I didn't know whipped cream lasts so long in the can, but if you look at the Best By date on that shit, it lasts a long time. So that can of whipped cream's been in there for a few months now, and every once in a while I just open the fridge and I just like spray it in my mouth because it's whipped cream. That's what you do with it. And that's, you know, what that is. You said fridge, so yeah, okay, just fridge. And I have like soy sauce, black soy sauce, tartar sauce, ranch, fucking ketchup, mustard, that Grey Poupon mustard, like the fancier mustard, not the yellow mustard. What else do I have? Sriracha mayo. I like I have something else in the cheese drawer. I have a new wedge of Romano, but I have like a bit of an old wedge of Romano, and I have a bag of shredded mozzarella that's almost out, that's been in there for a while, but it's one of those like fake bags of shredded mozzarella, and they just don't go bad. I just don't get it. It's not real cheese. It doesn't get moldy. So that's still in. Oh, I have a box of turkey gravy that I got recently from the store. And that's actually been really nice because I make mashed potatoes a lot. Listen, you underestimate the ease and ability to microwave a bowl of water with a pat of butter in it. Pull it out, dump in some dehydrated mashed potatoes until it's the consistency you want. Add some salt, pepper, mix it up. Make a little well in the middle and dump some gravy from your little gravy box in there. Microwave it again for another like 20 seconds to get the gravy warm. You fucking instant giant bowl of mashed potatoes. Great, I love it. Usually I just do it without the gravy, but the gravy has been really nice recently. So there's some gravy in the fridge, turkey gravy. Giant jar of pickles that's been there for like a year, cause you get those jars of pickles that are like the size of a baby, and those motherfuckers don't run out. Like, I mean, I don't eat pickles that frequently, so, you know, I have a pickle a month minimum, like maybe a couple pickles a month from my jar of pickles, but it's an old jar of pickles, but they're also pickles. They're not gonna like go unpickled in the jar or anything, so they're fine. Oh, okay, Mr. Punk. Ooh, a phrase for poetry inspiration. The phrase is picnic. Okay. You like jarred turkey gravy? Oh, interesting. I hadn't really ever seen like jarred or boxed gravy. I've seen gravy mixes before, but I hadn't really ever seen like boxed gravy until I bought the gravy that I bought this time, because I was looking at the different gravies, and I was like, I'm gonna check this gravy out, and I like it a lot. So, and I feel like I use it fast enough. Also, it comes in like a smaller box. For just like a couple bucks, it seems worth it. I don't know. Maybe I should check the price next time. I can't imagine it was more than a couple dollars, or I wouldn't have bought it. But I was actually looking for like a nice chicken gravy, like mix. And I saw the turkey gravy box and was just like, okay, sure. I can do that. So that's what I did. Heinz turkey gravy in a jar. Interesting. Do you get that on the condiment aisle, or is it on the aisle with the mashed potato? Because, like, normally I feel like the gravy mixes and whatever are on the aisle with the instant mashed potato, like, stuff. Also, have you guys ever, my God, you ever gotten one of those family-sized boxes of cheesy potatoes where it's just, like, the sliced, like, round, thin potatoes and cheesy mixture bullshit? I don't know why, but those are so good. It's not a family-sized box, it's a me-sized box. I love potatoes. Really a big fan of potatoes. Same aisle as canned cranberry sauce. So like with the canned goods? I'll look for it. I'll look for it, but I prefer lingonberry to cranberry. You can get lingonberry stuff at like IKEA's. It's what they use with the IKEA like meatballs and whatever. It's just got like a different flavor than cranberries. And they sell it in jars, and it's more like, I don't know, you use it more like a jam or a spread or whatever, and it lasts longer than like a cranberry sauce. And it tastes better, I think. So that's my go-to with like meat and mashed potatoes and gravy and whatever. It's lingonberry. And I don't run out of it fast enough to like need to run to IKEA all the time, but I do get it from IKEA. I don't think, yeah. Also, I don't love it so much that I need it every time it runs out either, so. And yeah, they're big jars from IKEA. Yep. It's worth it. I think they're good. Okay. Next question. Thank you, Marcus, for asking what food it was in my fridge. Next question is from Uber, and it says, not a riddle. You can look at the chat. Okay. If you get a 150K grant to start a humanitarian settlement, and you get to live there for at least a year, where do you go? You get a 150K grant to start a humanitarian settlement, and I get to live there for at least a year. Where do I go? Maybe New Zealand. We were talking about how nice it would be to live in somewhere so beautiful. And I think if I was gonna have like a nice humanitarian settlement kind of a thing, which is a really interestingly nice way to put like to write a commune, I feel like. A commune. Not a communist, a commune where you live. A commune. Oh my god. Okay, my captioner doesn't know what the fuck a commune is. That's fine. Yeah, maybe somewhere really beautiful. Like New Zealand. Or somewhere in a rural part of Italy or France would be lovely. But I don't know if we would speak Italian or French. So that might be difficult. If it was English, you know, a rural area of Italy or France, because it's gorgeous out there. But, you know, for English sake, because I'm a goddamn useless American. Probably New Zealand. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Punk. Mr. Punk says Simple Green, according to the datasheet, was tested to be non-toxic on rats and rabbits up to 5 grams per kilogram of weight of animal. You have no idea. I have no idea what 5 grams of Simple Green looks like or how heavy your animal is. And I'm sure you dilute yours with water too. Yeah, I mean, I rinsed the shit out of her. So, like, I wet her and washed all that I could off first, and then I put a very minimal amount of Simple Green to, you know, loosen the oil, whatever, and then I rinsed her many times. Because I didn't want her to ingest anything, okay? I am a very loving, caring cat mom, and I'm not about to give my cat anything that could possibly be poison, ever. So... Yeah, New Zealand is gorgeous. You said I would live there, not other people. Well, what's a humanitarian settlement to you then? I can speak Italian okay, but like, I think if I want to live somewhere for just 1 year and I want it to be like beautiful and nice and I want it to have other people and I don't know, like I kind of want the best communication possible on a settlement. So I'd want us to all speak one language and have it be native. Just for ease of communication. Right? But also, what is a humanitarian settlement if only I live there? What? It's not that I think English is superior in any way. English is fucking stupid. It's just, you know, if I had 1 year right now to live on a humanitarian commune, I'd probably pick one where the people speak English. Spoke English. Even if I know some Italian, it's fucking rusty. I don't know. I still want to be able to communicate with people fully. I don't think you should be disturbed, Mr. Pink, that they tested Simple Green on animals. The thing is, like, in order to get toxicity ratings for anything, they have to test it on animals, and I mean, at least with Simple Green, they knew that none of those chemicals that are in it were immediately harmful. So I doubt they like poured a whole bottle of fucking Simple Green down a rat's throat or anything. Whatever. English is fucking stupid, yes. Quote me on that. Some people settle and set up resources of potable water or renewable energy or refertilizing areas where people live that crops don't grow anymore. Okay. That's a definition of a humanitarian settlement. If I lived there for a year, I wouldn't want to be alone. I would want to have more than one other person. So it would be a couple people. I would love to do it, you know, still in like a beautiful rural area. So having going with good people is important though, because I'm not gonna, you know, set up a renewable source of energy on my own in the middle of nowhere. I don't think it would be as enjoyable. We're social creatures. So thank you, Dr. Music Fail. And thank you, Gold One. Okay. Next question. We have a lot of riddles. I'm not going to be able to look at the chat anymore, because I don't trust the chat to not post answers. So, the first riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Well, things things that come alive with the wind, I immediately thought like wind chimes or whatever, but they don't really speak. What else was I thinking of? Like trees, rustling of trees or mountains. But no, I speak without a mouth, so something that doesn't have a mouth. No body. I come alive with wind. I keep going back to things that come alive with the wind, like clouds or grass or propellers or turbines or windmills. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Thank you, Gold One. Thanks, Hot Coin. I'm not sore from yesterday, no. I think I might have been a little bit this morning, but not anymore. I'm guessing, Kenny. I'm trying. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive within. Fucking upstairs neighbor dogs. Well, I was thinking like fabric, cloth. I'm still stuck on things that come alive with the wind. Height? I don't know. Bells, wind chimes, seasons. Thanks, Golan. A flag, a banner, a sail. Doesn't speak. I think this one might have bested me. I think I might need to look at the chat. Yeah, I have to look at the chat. I don't know. Echoes, ghosts. I'm gonna be pissed when I learn the answer, probably. It's not a physical object. It's something that makes sound and isn't physical. Wait, what? Okay, I'm not looking at the chat anymore. I didn't see an answer, I think. So, not a physical object, but it makes a noise. It's not a physical object, but it makes a noise. That's the hardest thing for me to grasp. You what? It's what? It's not a physical object, but it makes a noise. I am probably gonna be pissed when I see the answer. I can't even think of any non-physical objects that make noises, though. I think I'm gonna have to throw in the towel. Yeah, I don't know. Looking at the chat. That's it. It's an echo? feel like there's so many echo riddles, and that one didn't ever pull from my mind the idea of an echo. I get, okay, I speak without a mouth, sure, an echo. And hear without ears. Okay. Have no body, alright. I come alive with the wind. See, that I think is the most, I don't like that clue the most. I come alive with the wind, like, yeah, sure, talking is wind, but that's like a technicality. There are definitely a bunch of other riddles where the answer is echo, and they don't say, oh, well, I'm, you know, speaking is wind. Sorry. I don't know about you, but like, I might call it hot air, vibrations, but wind? I didn't know gale force winds came out of your mouth. You got some lung capacity. Alright, sure. Next riddle. What is always in front of you, but can't be seen? Your nose? I mean, it can be seen though if you like think about it, if you focus on it. It's in your vision, and then you're like, wow, I have a nose. But always in front of you and can't be seen. Your future. Your future, which I think is a pretty solid answer. Pretty believable, solid answer. Always in front of you but can't be seen. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with future. That works fine. The wind thing is misleading. Future answer makes sense. Yeah, exactly. We're calling that one. Future. Yes or no? Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm right. The next one. The next one is, what word is spelt wrong in the dictionary? Wrong. That's the answer. There's one word that's spelt W-R-O-N-G, and it's wrong. Hey, thanks. Clever. Next one is, what happens once in a lifetime, twice in a moment, but never in 100 years? I've heard this one, and it's gonna be frustrating when I can't remember the answer. Once in a lifetime, twice in a moment, but never in 100 years. Oh, I've heard this one. Oh, it kills me. Oh. Oh, that one was so crap. Like, that one was really a chip. Banana chip. Banana rock. Okay. Once in a lifetime, twice in a moment, but never in 100 years. I don't remember the answer for this one, but because I've heard the answer, my brain isn't letting me think right about it. Does that make sense? Because I feel like I'm just trying to remember the answer as opposed to working the answer out like with other riddles. Once in a lifetime, twice in a moment, but never in 100 years. M, the letter M. It happens once in a lifetime, twice in a moment, but never in 100 years. The letter M. I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Punk. Well, this is the music box I want to hear right now. It's a beautiful golden music box in a clear case with a little crank. And it sounds like this. If I only had a brain, I could while away the hours, consulting with the flowers, my heart or head all full of pain. If I only had a brain. The words elude me, but I love that song. No, Marcus gave me a music box that plays music from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Okay. I have a question here from Carrie B. And the question reads, in this final stage, capitalist realism, which is in quotations, how do we reclaim / reintegrate the imagination to a place where it might pose a threat to this norm? Okay, we have to break down that question. First of all, I didn't understand it the first go around, and I am not ashamed to admit that. In this final stage of capitalist realism, which I'm curious about your definition of, how do we reclaim and reintegrate the imagination to a place where it might pose a threat to this norm? So how do we defeat capitalism with imagination? Is that the question? Like, how do we reclaim, reintegrate imagination to a place where it might pose a threat to the norm of capitalist realism? Is that what the question is asking? And I need a definition for capitalist realism, so I'm Googling it. Define capitalist realism. Capitalist realism is loosely defined by the predominant conception that capitalism is the only viable economic system, and thus there can be no imaginable alternative. Capitalist realism, as I understand it, cannot be confined to art or the quasi-propagandistic way in which advertising functions. I feel like my idea of capitalist realism is pretty still vague. The predominant conception that capitalism is the only viable economic system, and thus there can be no imaginable alternative. Well, I disagree with that, first off. Straight off the bat, I disagree. Because listen, a bartering economy used to be like the way of the world before, you know, we came along, I feel. Before the current system came along. Like, bartering economies definitely work. So first of all, disagree with the idea of capitalist realism. But apparently, so going back to the question, in this final stage of capitalist realism, how do we reclaim / reintegrate the imagination to a place where it might pose a threat to this norm? if it is capitalist realism, then there's nothing that can pose a threat to it if it's the only viable economy that functions based on this definition of capitalist realism. If you just want to say capitalism, like how can we defeat capitalism with imagination, by fucking, you know, I don't know, performative action of other economic systems, like bartering, like having bartering fairs or something. I feel like imagination also very broad and vague concept. I don't know if you're looking for like me to say something specific about the arts or the I don't know, science fiction. Like what kind of imagination are we going for here? Because it's broad. I feel like this question seems more confusing than it needs to be, and it seems like it's not asking anything specific enough that I can give a good answer on. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. So if you think that you could ask it in a different way or a more specific way, send me another question. But I don't know. I don't know what you're asking here. A flea market, right? Yeah, but like on a barter system. I don't know. But you have to, I don't know, make it the norm to participate in different economies to defeat, what a word, to defeat economies in place. You have to show that other economies are viable and put them in place, and at first putting other economies in place is going to be kind of performative, like I said, like bartering fairs or whatever. I don't know if you wanted to. I'm using the bartering economy as like an example. There are other kinds of economies, but the fact of the matter remains that the question is pretty vague and weird. Also, yeah, defeating capitalism is a lot like an Adam Sandler movie. They're terrible, but they make tons of money. And unless you stop supporting it, then you're still playing the game. But the thing is, a lot of people can't just stop supporting capitalism because they rely on capitalism to survive. And so, while it sounds really nice for us to all just stop participating if we want it to be different, it's not viable in most cases to do that. I think that more so an integration of a different system, economic system, would be a more viable way to replace an economic system. Because there's always going to be people who are relying with the whole of their being on surviving on that economic system. You know, there are people working retail right now and they can't really reject capitalism if they want to keep paying their bills. So it's hard to just say don't play the game. I don't think don't play the game is a good answer. I know a lot of people who are like, just, you know, you gotta just fucking tear down the system and stop being a part of the system. And it's just like, okay, but we also have to reach like a critical mass of people wanting a specific kind of change for it to change on a larger scale. And a lot of people can't reject the system or are too ingrained in the system to reject the system. And so, yeah, I agree. Like, things could be better. But I don't think that this, like, I don't know. Hard to talk about. Confusing. What a question. You have no choice but to play. Yeah, a lot of people are disenfranchised and just don't have the ability to choose not to play. So, yeah. But anyway, they also, same person asked some either or questions. So, you know, that question. And then Lady Gaga or Billie Eilish. Lady Gaga, because I really don't like when 17 and 18-year-olds become, like, pop icons. I just think that, like, that's still a child, and they definitely had help or even pressure from people around them to do that, and it makes me nervous for that person. I feel like a lot of child actors and child stars have a lot of problems later in life because the shit messes with you. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it because when you put someone in a position like that to become an icon for society and they're that young, like we're saying that, you know, that's a good pinnacle, and yet I don't think you're at your, like, best when you're 18, let's be real. So people shouldn't strive for that. It shouldn't be iconic to be that age because, you know, I don't know, a lot of the population ain't that fucking age, most of it, and just don't like it. And it's not even, anyway, a whole big issue with, like, child stars. Not a fan. So, oh, thank you, Mr. Punk. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for the generous support of the stream. We hit our goal. So I have to chug the rest of this rosé, which is going to be an exciting adventure that I'm going to give a second. But, so Lady Gaga over Billie Eilish. Another question, Dickens over Jane Austen. Jane Austen! Jane Austen was writing what she wanted to see, and she was writing it well, and it was fun to read, and people loved it. Fucking Dickens was being paid by the word count. And you know, he was fluffing that shit to hell to make more money, and so his writing is so, like, needlessly long and flowery and whatever, and I'm just not as much a fan. Like, The Prince and the Pauper doesn't need to be, like, that fucking wide. But Charles Dickens was paid by the word, so fuck that. Definitely Jane Austen. Next question. Candy or cakes? I think cakes. Nothing beats, like, a super light, soft, sweet cake that's just, like, not too sweet, but it's got that lovely, like, spongy texture. Just a perfectly baked, like, cake. Fabulous. Candy, on the other hand, I mean, there's a lot of varieties, obviously, with, like, sour candy, sweet candy, whatever, but, you know, you can feel it in your teeth, and I don't really like that. So, cake. I have 7 minutes to chug? Fuck, you're right. Next question, jazz or classical? Now, this is a difficult question. It depends on the kind of jazz, for sure. Like, cause are we thinking, like, big band jazz, or are we thinking, like, experimental jazz? Because that shit is wildly different. I'm a huge fan of, like, big band, and stuff, but I'm not a huge fan of experimental, and I'm a huge fan of some classical artists like Tchaikovsky, and I love waltzes. Oh, I love waltzes, but if I had to pick one, if it was big band, like jazz, like really like that nice 20s to 40s upbeat jazz with a lot of emotion and like love and beauty and whatever, jazz. Next question, fingers or toes? I'm gonna go fingers. They just got a lot more sensation. They do a lot more. I don't know what this question is really trying to get at here because, like, the clear winner is fingers. toe fingers. Next question, an opening or a closing? A closing is more satisfying when you know something is complete and can rest, or when you finish something and can process it. A closing, really nice, but an opening can be really fresh and exciting and nice and new and inspiring. So what do I like more, an opening or a closing? I feel like an opening. I feel like inspiration, becoming awestruck about the world around you, opening doors, learning about yourself and others, and starting projects and whatever. You know, that's the reason anything gets done and anything beautiful happens and wonderful. Whether or not it ever closes doesn't matter. It can be ongoing for the rest of your life and still be super worth it and fabulous. So I'm gonna say an opening instead of a closing. Next question is from Still Got Legs. Okay. I'm gonna try to answer this question with tact and grace, because I like to think that no topic is off limits here, and we should all communicate more on difficult and polarizing topics, because, you know, a lot of the time, if we just would realize that we would act or think the same way as other people if we were in their shoes, you know, I think we could be a lot more compassionate with each other. So the question